There you are, the translation and the book. I hope we're quits now. As far as I'm concerned, yes. Then go. Now. I have a lot to do. Brother.
Yes?
My acolyte was trained as a copyist.
All right. Do you have the Hortus Tuus with you?
Yes, we've got it right here.
I assume that your acolyte will know how to translate that properly into Latin?
Yes. One could even say that Greek is my novice's second tongue.
I hope so, to the benefit of the library's archives. Does he have his quill with him?
Yes, a good quill, if I may say so.
Correct. I see that the child has what's necessary to pass the exam. The time has come to test your skills. Come with me, boy. All it takes is one glance to see that it's rather rudimentary. And I see that cleanliness is not one of your virtues, boy.
Huh?
You've also overlooked several details in the miniatures. Do you know what it means to be a copyist? I'm sorry, but I cannot accept that.
Unacceptable for a copyist? He's not an apprentice, I presume?
What
you're holding in your hands is obviously not on the same level of work as from someone who's worked here for years. I presume you'll make efforts to hone and polish his skills until the boy deserves to share in the fame of the copies made at this abbey.
All right, he's accepted. You can enter the scriptorium whenever you please, my boy.
The two of you can enter the scriptorium, is what you surely wanted to say.
What's that? Didn't I make myself sufficiently clear? The scriptorium is solely for the copyists in our order. The rules...
Yes, but Bruno is my acolyte, so you'll understand that he must go wherever I go, and vice versa. If he wishes to enter the scriptorium, then I'll escort him.
But the rule...
Just like you, I am bound to them.
I see we have a conflict here.
Not the slightest, brother. You have accepted my acolyte as a copyist, and, thanks to the rule that binds me to Bruno, I can enter the scriptorium with him.
I don't see that very clearly.
The rules are there to relieve us of the burden of always having to make the right decision. Your very words.
All right already. You can come into the scriptorium.
Take him as an example for what it means to be a copyist, Bruno.
Yes, Master. I'm going to be a great copyist, like Bayer.
Yes, Bruno, that's fine. You've said it before. Beatus de Liebana. Good day, brother.
Yes, it's almost perfect. Yes. Oh, I know you. Your brother Leonardo de Toledo.
I'm delighted that you know me. And you are?
I'm Thomas from Rotterdam.
May I introduce you to your new fellow brother? This is Bruno, my acolyte.
So that's how it is. Marcello asked for reinforcements, huh? Was the exam difficult?
No, I mean it was... But I had help from... No, I mean it was... Not really.
That's all right. This scriptorium is full of books just waiting to be copied. A little help is always welcome.
Bruno would appreciate it greatly if you could give him a few bits of advice for his new job.
Sure, I'd be glad to. How can I help you?
He wants to become greater than the Beatus de Liabana.
Greater? Be satisfied with reaching the level we've achieved, boy.
To learn a bit more about the profession.
If you've passed Brother Marcello's exam, I suppose I won't be able to give you much advice. I can tell you one thing, boy. It's a lot more than simple drudgery. It's an art, you know? Once you've copied a number of books, you realize how splendid literature is, how the ink influences the knowledge itself, sometimes in a subtle way and sometimes directly. Being a copyist puts you on a higher level than that of the other brothers. It makes you a creative person, you follow me? Naturally, it requires a lot of time and a lot of work, but it's worth it.
What does one get in return?
To become acquainted with the thoughts of great authors, the lives of the saints and martyrs, and to know how the world was before the arrival of our Lord. It's fascinating to read about classic Rome, ancient Greece, and pre-Christian cultures, not to mention the pleasure of reading and copying great works at the same time. For instance, here we have the Book of Apollonius. For me, the writing seemed to be simplistic and superficial, but there was also the sensation of moving through the pages he wrote, of seeing the traces other copyists had left behind. That's priceless. Do you follow me?
I follow you. I see you enjoy your work.
Oh, yes. Books are the source of knowledge. We can learn everything about life without ever taking our eyes off them. For example, did you know that in the Egyptian Empire they knew of an oil whose flame didn't go out when it was burnt?
Is that so?
Yes, St. Augustine wrote about it.
Well, well. In my opinion, one must also head out into the world to know what has not been written.
Really? I've heard that you've travelled a lot. What have your journeys taught you? Do you know how many ways there are for one soldier to kill another? Or how leprosy consumes a person's flesh?
One never knows when it might be useful to know how to recognize the signs of evil. I hope Bruno will be a good copyist.
I hope so too.
What are you copying at the moment?
It's a tract about little-known minerals. It also refers to topics that can be found in other works, a point that manifests itself as one of the virtues of literature. It tells us that reading a book doesn't end on the last page. Isn't that marvellous? It's as if books talked to each other and reached agreements as to how they administrate the information. Do you follow me? You take care of this, I'll take care of that. You refer to me, and I'll refer to you.
Oh yes, I get the point. Which books do you use for reference?
Well, several works. For example, Orcurita is cited in the paragraph I'm copying at the moment. It's supposed to be a stone with, well, let's say unusual properties. Yet no mention is made here of its mythological origins. Any reader would think that the stone exists in reality, but it's really nothing more than a legend.
Is that so?
Now, if you want to find out something about the Orcurita, I'd have to refer to the tract on alchemy by Abul Azreth. And although the tract is very informative, it's based primarily on speculation, which means if we want to learn more about the stone, then we could...
Pardon me, brother. I don't doubt for an instant that your narrative is terribly interesting, but at the moment I don't have the time for obscure stones and tracts on alchemy.
Orcurita. Orcurita.
Can you tell me anything about Anselmo?
Sure, I'd be glad to. You're investigating his death, aren't you?
I am, indeed.
I'm at your convenience.
Did he have some sort of enemy at the Abbey?
Enemy? What do you mean by that?
Are you familiar with the word friend?
Of course I am.
It's the opposite of that.
Not that I'd know of, no. Although, to be honest, he certainly tried hard enough. And anyway, we're all only human, you know? Who can say they're free of vices, know what I mean?
Yes, I think I know what you mean. There are rumors of this and that about his accident.
Oh yes, the idea that it happened because a rope was frayed probably isn't exciting enough, is it?
Do you have a different theory?
I don't know. I wasn't at the Abbey when the tragedy occurred. But the way I see it, the bell tolled Anselmo's last hour. It's that simple.
Was he very old?
Not at all. He was younger than you. But no one ever knows when death is going to come for us. Perhaps his clock ran a bit fast.
Brother, do you find it amusing that a brother of your community had to die a horrid death?
No, you're right. I was a bit macabre. It's just that Anselmo, well, he was...
Yes, I know. He wasn't very popular at this abbey. Do you think the devil could have had something to do with his death?
The devil? Well, why should the devil occur to me? Something like the Prince of Darkness must be accorded respect, just like any other enemy.
That would be all for the moment. I'll let you get on with your work.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Fine. Where was I? Oh yes, here.
No one's using it.